Hello again. Welcome to some more Katawa Shoujo. You might notice that we've switched things up again. Different camera, different lens, because the new setup we're on the other side of the room now. So now you see the couch and like the like manga shelf back there instead of the door and everything else you used to see. We also switched cameras just because I don't use this one as much as the other one that I use to record normally. And having to take that one down every time, it was a little different, and this one was just kind of sitting around. So we're using this one. This one's great too. This one's pretty amazing looking. Yeah, everything's just a little different. It's been a couple weeks since I recorded, because of all of this, having to switch everything around, and it was whatever. It was August 2nd. Oh, this is right after a choice. Okay, August 2nd, 2 weeks ago today, I believe. So I sweat profusely, awaiting the dreaded moment. I don't remember what's happening. Dreaded moment. Was it the Iwanako letter? Each tick of the clock tenses my muscles that much more, every minute making hairs stand on end. It's coming for me. I can feel it. Is he having a nightmare? Death. Death in the form of a single sheet of paper. I take the small pile of papers from the student in front of me and pass it backwards after plucking off the top piece. Looking to the top of the right page, I find my fears realized within that small red circle. 43. Oh my god, he failed. I hang my head and sigh in resignation, cursing under my breath. I could feel the aura of a similar sentiment rising from the entire class. It's strange, but that fact lifts my mood by a minuscule amount. Misery loves company, I suppose. As the teacher opens her mouth, God, we don't know anything about any of our other teachers. The room braces for the inevitable onslaught, only to be saved by the last minute. We quickly move to collect our bags and leave for the lunch post-haste, but the teacher delivers a parting broadside. We'll be discussing the test scores next lesson. Needless to say, there will be quite some discussion to be had. A collective groan resounds from the class, now reduced to shuffling out dejectedly. I push the sheet into my bag as I walk along the hallway, crumpling it in the process. It's enough that such a troublesome letter ended up on my desk yesterday, and now this. I hate English. Hisao. It could be anybody. I think it's Misha. A stern female voice gruffly calls out from behind me. Oh, it's the teacher? I freeze on the spot, my face becoming like a stone. It's as if I can feel my brain disconnecting from my body. My eyes slowly shift right, trying to catch a glimpse of the disembodied voice. Nothing? My face begins to slip as time passes, and I decide to take a risk turning my head. Ever so slightly, I twist to the... Ah! I jump into the air and drop my bag, yelling out in surprise. As I recover and regain my composure, I turn to see. I should have known. Emmy. Oh. Gotcha, Sal. Emmy. She stands there with a mischievous grin on her face, hands forward and fingers pointed inwards. She was the one who jabbed my ribs with her fingers. I look down at her with a grimace, rubbing my hair in frustration. That's no way to greet someone you know. You have no sense of humor. I left my sense of humor in my English class. Complained to the teacher if he wanted to give it back to me. She pulls her best puppy dog eyes on me as she pouts. Lily's managed to build up my resistance to the tactic. Lily, how? But Emmy's short stature adds enough to the effect to make me relent. Does Lily do puppy dog eyes? I don't think so. So, how are things? I haven't seen you around for a while. Same old, same old. I run so fast nobody wants to join me in the morning runs. It's a real pain. Her modesty never fails to amuse me. Although... Oh. You know what I'm thinking? Don't you, Miss Al? Wearing my emotions on my sleeve is one of my worst habits. She's seen right through me. Fortunately, I see somebody else approaching us that will give me an out. Oh, hi, Hanako. I give her a welcoming wave and try my best at looking like I haven't noticed Emmy's pouting face. She gives me a small wave back. Hello, Miss Al. Emmy? Hey, Hanako. I'll join you and Lily in a sec. Actually, speaking of lunchtime company, it's odd to see you without Rin, Emmy. Rin. Without a second word, she forgets all about us and bolts up to the hallway. She must have forgotten she was waiting for her. Hanako and I stand speechless, only able to helplessly stand and watch this ball of seemingly boundless energy dash off. Oh yeah, Hisao. She suddenly stops herself just before vanishing around the corner to the rooftop staircase, spinning around and meeting our bemused faces. I hate English too. And with that, she disappears. She's really cute. I don't remember if she was cute in her route. I remember her being there, and I remember her being cute, but like she's like cuter in everybody else's routes. All I can do is hang my head and give a long sigh, thoroughly left in the dust. As I hear a short giggle coming from behind me, I turn to see Hanako smiling at the corner of my attacker rounded. Aw. I pick up my dropped bag from the floor and quickly dust it off. Afternoon. Been busy? You don't like English? Huh? Oh, nah. I just had a test on it a while back, and Emmy caught me brooding about my results. Oh, sorry. She averts her gaze, guilt written on her face. A casual observer would think she just accidentally reminded me of a dead relative. Come on, it's not your fault. How are you doing in it? English is definitely her best subject, right? She looks up, though she still avoids mine, meeting my eyes. Alright, I suppose. An awkward silence passes. They seem all too common around Hanako. Oh, Lily asked if you'd like to join us for lunch on the roof. On the roof? Is it going to be all four of us just hanging out? 5, 6? Shit. The 4 girls and Hisao? Actually, that'd be interesting seeing them all in the same place. We've never actually seen all of the girls in one spot. I guess I don't exactly have any pressing engagements to attend to. Sure, I'll be right up. I'll go get my lunch from the cafeteria now. Go on. You don't need my approval to leave, you know. Okay, I'll be going then. She gives a skittish reply, a small nod, and quickly makes off to the cafeteria. I guess she must have forgotten to bring lunch today. As I walk through the hallways, more and more students start to come out of the classrooms and pass me, going in the same direction that Hanako went. By the time I manage to make it to the stairs, I'm having to push my way past a busily chatting throng of students. I finally manage to get past the last of the crowd and around the staircase, slumping in slightly in relief and slowing my pace before I open the door to the roof. God damn, I momentarily avert my eyes, but all but blinded by the harsh summer sun. My God, we all are here together. I slowly regain my vision. The surroundings finally take form. This is really hype, actually. Lily, Emmy, and Rin sit together on the rooftop. The top of the hilltop forest around Yamaku visible... What? The top of the hilltop forest around Yamaku visible past the fence around them, as if to frame the view. Oh, it's out. Lily and Rin give a quick nod of acknowledgement and a deep nod of greeting respectively. I start walking towards the rather mismatched trio and can't help marveling at the speed of which Emmy devours the rest of her half-eaten banana. Hey, strange to see you 3 together like this. It seems to have been quite a day of coincidences. Emmy and Rin decided to eat on the roof just as Hanako and I decided to. They always do. You're taking their spot. You stole it. The spot was ours. Yeah. Simmer down. You can't steal a place in the school. I plonk myself beside Lily, the 4 of us, creating a semicircle. I think she's right. You too? The butterfly is her accomplice. As I glance around, sure enough, a small yellow butterfly floats across my field of vision. So tell me, how did this butterfly help Lily steal the spot? It scouted out our conversation and told her. I should have known better than to expect sound reasoning from Rin. Regardless, I guess it wouldn't hurt to play along. You're telling me she can talk to butterflies. There are people who can talk to horses, called horse whisperers. Lily must be a butterfly whisperer. I bury my head in my hands as Emmy rounds her strange companion. She doesn't seem to share Rin's sense of humor. Whisperers don't work like that. Emmy and Rin continue their banter as I turn to Lily, who's busily finishing off her small box of curry and rice. So what brought you up here anyway? A little fresh air every now and again doesn't hurt. Oh. Emmy breaks off her vain attempts to introduce the concept of logic to Rin. That was why we came up here too. You always come up here, what do you mean? Something tells me it was her idea alone and that Rin only got dragged up here on Emmy's whim. Then again, the same could probably be said of Lily and Hanako. Now, we can chill. The creaking of the door on the roof can be heard as soon as she says the words. A small moment of silence falls over everyone's attention, focuses on the figure appearing from it. Hanako, that's so funny looking. Hanako slowly walks over to us. It's so cute. Slowly walks over to us, her eyes pinned to the ground, silently ruining the attention she's attracting. She tenses, just barely, when her eyes meet Rin's. I can't help raising an eyebrow. She walks over to us. I'm just imagining. We just need Misha and Shizune to just show up. Just so we can see them all on the same screen. Can't help but raising an eyebrow as she walks over to us and sits next to me, doing her utmost to avoid looking up even as she brings her cafeteria bread to her mouth. So, how do you and Emmy know each other anyway? Emmy's somewhat well known around the school for her athletic ability. She's the fastest member of the track and field club by some margin, even beating Miki Mirai. She's the not handless. She has one hand in our group, and or class. And if I'm right, Miki means hand, right? So that's like a cheeky. That's actually really ironic in terms of unless she was born with only one hand. At the track meet last week, Miki Mura. The tanned girl from the front of my class. Considering her height and toned body, being able to beat her is quite an accomplishment. Looking over to Emmy, it's very clear that she's well aware of this fact, and she beams proudly. So, it's Al. Oh, was your score in English? Ouch. No comment. Boo. She puffs her cheeks and pouts, and she doesn't take long for her to bounce back. Alright, if I tell you mine, you have to tell me yours. Deal? Fine. Okay, on the count of 3, we both say our results. 1, 2, 3, 32. Oh, I beam a mischievous grin. Evil. You said it, not me. Still, the fact that you managed to get an even lower score than me is kind of amazing. She looks and sounds like a small terrier growling at an intruder. I can't say it's the most threatening sight I've ever seen. Either way, scoring higher than 32 isn't something to boast about, much less scoring below it for any subject. Yes, Lily. Sorry, Lily. I could help you with your English if you like. It would be my pleasure to... No, that's fine. But I appreciate the thought, really. Lily looks slightly deflated, her hopes of imparting her knowledge dashed, judging from the badly hidden laughter of the rest of us. Neither she nor Emmy seem to have garnered too much pity. Oh. As I sit, happily laughing through, though, my voice suddenly cutting off as my chest clenches. I sit in silence for a few seconds, all my concentration forced on my heartbeat. It's only a small pain, but the ache feels like it's growing. Breathe deeply. I glance upward to try and keep at least some of my attention on my surroundings, to see Emmy suddenly freezing when she notices the expression of pain on my face out of the corner of her eye. Hey, Isao? Are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine. I look back and redouble my efforts to try and stay calm, clenching my fists to try and dull the pain. It takes a short time, but the pain, thankfully, begins to fade. When I look back up, there's only silence and pensive faces to be seen. I guess I'd better explain myself. Eurythmia. I'm fine. It's just a heart flutter. Are you sure? Should we get the nurse? Taking her cue, Hanako quickly picks herself up and begins to dash to the door. Hanako, stop. Lily, I'm fine. Also, why didn't Emmy run? Like, she could get there faster and she knows the nurse. Whatever. You look like a wet, wrinkled tomato. What? As I bring my hand to my forehead, I could feel the beads of sweat, gathered on it, and dab them off with my cuff. Thanks. I told you I'm fine. I'm just kind of fragile, I guess. The entire atmosphere's changed from one of gaiety to downcast faces, the situation being too awkward for anyone to know how exactly to react. And of course, the whole thing is thanks to me. It just had to happen now, around others. Oh, Emmy. She looks up, a box of juice halfway to her mouth. I haven't told you my score yet, have I? Yeah, well, you're half foreign, so your score doesn't count anyway. Lifting an eyebrow, I inquisitively turn to Lily. What was your test result anyway? She gives a cheeky grin. 100%. Perfect score. No way. All I can do is hang my mouth open in wonder. Considering those tests are insane, even for some native speakers, I can only imagine she's gone and done something like committing to mind part of the dictionary. A gift for rote memorization, maybe. That's... See? Only someone part foreign could get a score that good. See. Lily and I grin at Emmy's expense, her reaction identical to mine when I'd first tripped on that landmine. Lily's foreign ancestry does raise a point, though. Oh, that's right, you leave tomorrow for Scotland, don't you? That's correct. Emmy heard some rumors about it. It seems word spreading quickly, considering I only told a friend in my class a couple days ago. Must be so nice to go halfway around the world on a holiday. Hey, could you buy me something while you're there? Don't be too shy now. Lily gives a lighthearted giggle, evidently fully expecting Emmy's bluntness. The rest of lunch continues much the same as before, the jauntiness from before my heart flutter thankfully returning in full. Wow. As everyone flies off with appropriate farewells, only Lily and I are left. It's weird that Hanako would just leave like that. Hey, Lily. She packs the last of her things into her bag and clips it shut before perking her head up slightly. Thanks for breaking the silence back there. I kind of wanted to stop it, but didn't really know how to. As much as I'd like to sound less morose about it, the letter from yesterday screwing up in tests so badly in class, and now my heart makes things very hard indeed. Yeah, what are we going to do without her? She goes to Scotland for like a while, right? Like, how are we on a Lily route without Lily? Maybe we'll call her and stuff? Maybe it's like long distance? I don't know. She gives an indulgent smile and nods. I hope she hasn't picked up on it, but knowing her, it's unlikely that she hasn't. Emmy's strong, but only human. We do worry about you, so. Hold on, why would I worry you? Her smiling face collapses, becoming uncomfortably serious. Isao, we are not ignorant of your situation. Only? Unlike? I don't know what that would mean. She suddenly cuts herself short, unsure whether she should say what she intends to. I give a weak smile and rest my hand on her shoulder. Don't. It's enough that I worry about it. I don't want you to shoulder my burden. But if you all worry about it, I have to worry about your worrying, and if that makes sense. I'm fine, okay? For a moment she looks to be lost in thought, carefully pondering how to react. Isao, do you have any paper from your food's packaging? I think so. I'll just check. I rummage around in my bag for any leftovers from lunch, eventually finding a paper square from my sandwich's package. My eyebrow raised with an expression rather quizzical. I gently place the square into Lily's hand. Without another word, she brings her fingers around it to feel its edges. It should be large enough. I feel like I know what she's doing, but I don't want to say what I'm thinking because it's stupid. With both of us seated on the roof, the minutes to the lesson ticking away, she proceeds to lay the item on the ground and begin to work on her harness. Okay, it's not what I thought at all. Wrapped in silence, I watch her fingers move around in the small square with an amazing dexterity. A small fold here, a larger fold there. Her fingertips keep a slow but sure pace. Looking up, her expression is calm and placid. The fact that her face is pointed well above the sheet in front of her makes the sight of her work all the more curious. Her shoulders slump after finishing one final fold, her work apparently done. It's only when she holds the item up in her hands that I realize what it is. It's like a crane. It is. A small origami crane. Light brown thanks to the packaging used, the result looks quite delicate and precise. You can do origami? I taught myself how to do it when I was younger. It improved my dexterity a bit. Huh. A little baffled, I carefully take the small bird from her pale, cupped hands as if it would break from the slightest breath. It seems to be folded quite well and holds its shape easily. We both grab our bags and head to the door, Lily extending her cane as she does so. I hold Lily's handiwork up to my face for further inspection while we walk down the hallway, her hand running along the silver handrails for orientation. If she taught herself origami to improve her dexterity, with the use of her hands meaning so much, so given her condition, so that's it. I smile as I realize the bird's meaning. Everyone here has to find their own ways of dealing with their conditions. You aren't alone here when you have problems. Thanks, Lily. I appreciate this. I need juice. My throat is killing me. Yeah. Sorry. She gives a sweet smile and a nod, not using words when none need to be used in her typical manner. All I ask is that you take care of yourself, Isao. Don't worry, I will. Promise? Promise. And with that, we part ways. To be honest, I don't know what annoys me more. The fact that I could die at any moment, or the fact that everyone knows that. I guess I'll take each day as it comes, as the unexpected present in my hand reminds me I'm not alone here. Even though I may be like this, I'm not alone. If anyone worries, I'll smile. I'll smile enough for all their worries to go away. Okay? Yeah. Love that.